Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a crazy, just tough, insane blade battle for you. I'm calling this the Battle of the Smarty Pantses. I couldn't think of anything clever, and both these guys are Smarty Pantses. So, you know what? Battle of the Smarty Pantses. This is the Winter Blade Co. Factor, kind of the darling of the knife world recently. It's a production knife made by Bestech, OEM'd by Bestech for Brian Winters. Fantastic dude, really smart, smarty pants type guy. And it's a magnetic knife. It's a magnet knife, basically. So cool. And then you have the Craig Brown or Brown Knives FSD. I recently said it'd be amazing to get these two guys in a room, and my head would probably explode. I still think that would be the case. This is the FSD. It's a gargantuan knife, but it has the Brown lock that he invented. It's sort of button lock, compression locky, but a little bit different. Titanium frames, excellent milling pattern. This one's in CPM 154. That's in M390. This is a custom, small batch custom. Obviously CNC, but custom. It's got a belt satin, hollow grind. So they are different in a lot of ways, but they are unique, and that makes them similar with how awesome they are. So it's going to be an interesting battle, guys. I absolutely love both these knives. They're both contenders for Knife of the Year. This is probably my current Knife of the Year. This would be right there. Different categories for me. Production, like premium production and custom. So I can separate them. They would both win those categories hands down at this point. But overall, I don't know. I think the FSD would take it just because of that custom level to it. Even though this is one of my favorite knives I've carried the shit out of. Both of them I've carried the shit out of. So you see me, I'm already fucking sitting here debating. So let's start. Here are the categories: materials, price, perceived value, aesthetics, ergos, cutting, carry, sounds, action and fidget factor, fit and finish, and leftability. As always, if you're right-handed and you want to remove that category and adjust the score, go for it. This is all my opinion, based on my experience. If you love the knife that loses, I'm happy for you. Sometimes, like the last battle, I love the knife that loses and kind of hoped it won. But, hey, I don't make the rule. I mean, I make the rules, but you know what I mean? I don't make the rules. So, materials. This one, I think, is interesting because you have, well, the next one's price. So, materials. You have titanium, and you have carbon fiber, and you have M390 on the blade steel. On this one, you have titanium, and you have CPM 154. So based on the materials themselves, I got to give it to the Factor. Price. So again, price $375, and this one $800. I think base is $775. But I had this DLC done on the screws, on the hardware, so it was $800 when I bought this. This is a very early one. This is number 8. Absolutely love this knife. I don't have to say that every time I fucking Jesus. Price is obviously going to the Factor because it's half the price. All right, perceived value. Now, this is interesting because the secondary market on the FSD is bonkers. Like I said, $800. I actually bought one for $800. Then I bought a second one because I wanted 20 CV steel. Oh, shit, that makes me think you can get this in 20 CV. But I guess I'm comparing these two. Plus, this also has the carbon fiber. So, I don't know. I think it's still material wise better. I don't know. I'm just sticking with the Factor on that. But I traded the one I bought, so $800. I traded it for a Rask, which at the time were going for like $1,100 or something like that. And I've seen them sell for $1,200, $1,300, something like that. It's pretty crazy the value of these on the secondary because there's not that many. He's actually recently said he's going to stop making them at $300, I think. Which is crazy. I hope he makes a small one next. But perceived value is very high on the FSD. Now, on the Factor, I think it would be. So there was a batch drop, batch 1, 200 pieces, which is where this one is from. I got lucky on the drop. And they went for $375, and I really haven't seen them resell. I'm sure some of you have. I just haven't paid attention. So I'd love to know in the comments what they're going for. But then he did a pre-order at the same time for batch 2, and he sold like 2,000 or more of them on pre-order. So it kind of kills the secondary on batch 1 because people were like, well, why would I pay more when I could just wait, do the pre-order and pay the same, just pay retail. So I think the perceived value is higher on the FSD overall, I would say, is where I'm going with that. Aesthetics. So both of these are just utterly gorgeous in my opinion. The Factor in its own unique way, it's not like traditionally gorgeous, so to speak. I love a sheep's foot blade, and I love the way the handle looks, and I think this is one of those knives that grows on you aesthetically. It doesn't immediately catch you like, it catches you like that looks cool, but it doesn't catch you like it's great looking. Does that make sense? But as you have it longer and use it and carry it and appreciate the tool, it kind of does become that. The FSD is an immediate, instant cream pie for me, and it has never changed. The beauty of this knife, the beauty of the milling pattern, the beauty of the blade shape, the way the blade grind is finished, the blade is finished, the DLC on there, it just all works together so well for me. Closed, open, whatever, right? So to me, the FSD hands down wins aesthetics. Ergos. So again, it's going to be an easy win for the FSD because you have a traditional handle that, because it's a huge knife, my large glove size hand has plenty of room back here. And then you have a choil that feels super comfortable as well. I have a lot of knife hanging out, but it's really comfortable in hand. The Factor, on the other hand, is not terrible, but it's made to be, you know, unique, and then it works really well for everyday EDC type stuff. But if you were really gonna like bear down on it, which I don't really do, but you know, category here, it hurts a little bit because you have, you know, this gap, you have some corners and whatnot. So Ergos just they go to the FSD. Cutting. So this has a ridiculously nice hollow grind. It's hand ground. It's really nice. Now, out of the box, this I had struggles cutting with. Like just slicing paper, like, you know, cut test paper type stuff. Is there something? No, it's just like oil or something. Was a struggle for me. And I did find out because I sent this off and Jared Neve had it and he sharpened it. And he put a great edge on it. But he said the grind was uneven a little bit, which isn't a big deal, but like it's a thing. And once he sharpened it, now I can cut paper really well. But on the other hand, it has a sort of drop point blade and it's so big. Me cutting shipping labels and into packages and stuff, it is a little bit cumbersome because of the just sheer size of it, right? The Factor, on the other hand, is a smaller size knife, you know, 3 3¼ inch blade. I'd venture to guess around 3 inches. It's a sheep's foot blade, and you can get to that tip real easily. So for me, shipping labels, opening packages, slicing some fruit for the kiddo, whatever, it just works better. So I prefer the cutting on the Factor, even though it's a flat grind versus that hollow grind, but it's a full flat. It's really nice, guys. This is a fantastic cutting utensil, not just a fidget toy. I have to keep saying that, but the Factor is going to take that one. Carry. So it's ironic. This knife is huge, but it carries amazingly well. So I honestly am going to give this category to the FSD, and that's because of this clip. The way it carries, having that pad under there, so if you see, it's not milled underneath the clip. And the clip looks like it wouldn't be great. This is the best clip I've had on a knife, hands down. It's not heavy for its size, but it's not like light or anything. But it's a good package, and it's not, you know, it's a bit long, but it carries really, really, really well. And the Factor, on the other hand, is really tall. Like, even this is kind of tall because the handle's thick, but you can see the Factor's even taller, right? Like, there's a good bit of extra meat on there. It's just magnetized. So even though this one's a lot bigger, I think it carries better because of the clip and the thinness and everything. This is lightweight, and it carries wonderfully. And honestly, if I got to choose this category based off of which side the clip was on, I would just go with the Factor because I can carry this left-handed. But I have a leftability category, and I think it makes more sense to put that there. So I'm going to judge this carry category like they're both just right-hand carry. So I'm going to go with the FSD because of just ease of carry. Oops, 0. Sounds. So, again, they both are amazing. One of my favorite sounding knives. That ting, though. That ting is just... It's really hard, guys. I love the sound this thing makes. Damn. But I think nothing beats a ting. It's just, it's a ting, right? So everybody loves the Jaeger, the ting. This is consistent with the ting. I gotta give it to the Factor. That hurt, because this is like 10 out of 10 sound, and that's like 11 out of 10, I guess. Action and Fidget Factor. Again, this is tough. So on the FSD here, you have a traditional flipper up top. Then you have the best reverse flick on the planet, in my opinion. Then you can front flip it. It's not really meant to be, but it works really easily. You can kind of wrist flick, you know, if you had stronger thumbs than me, yeah, you can do it easily. And then you have, you know, the button, right? And then on the close, button just drops, right? On the Factor here, similarly, you have a flipper tab, right? And then you have a hole. You can reverse flick, or you can thumb flick. So they both have multiple deployments. I mean, at least 3, right? This one has 4. Well, technically it has 5 if you count the button. And then on this one, on the drop, you pull this lever down. It's a magnetic lock, M-lock, and it kind of just like sucks the blade in. It tips it, and then the magnets take over at some point, and it's an amazing kind of sensation of flicking and closing this. But it's the same with this, right? And again, I think if the left-handed thing came into play here, I'd probably just give it to the FSD because it's basically a left-handed button lock, right? So it's kind of nice to be able to just push the button, where on this, I got to drag this down on the opposite side, which really isn't a big deal. But other than that, I think I like fidgeting with this just a little bit better. I think I like the action maybe slightly better because of how it disengages and sucks it in. And this has the magnetic detent, which, like I said, this is the best reverse flick on a knife. But this is right there. But I think because left-handed, I have to kind of be away from the lock. Like, it's just not as natural as if you're right-handed. And the design of it, you know what I mean? This is just a much more natural sort of, I don't know. Again, both are top tier, like 10 out of 10 shit here. But I'm going to go with the Factor on Action Fidget Factor. And I think, yeah, I think the size also helps with that. Man, so good. Fit and finish. This one's going to be hands down FSD. The milling, I mean, it's a custom, right? Like, it better be, you know. Yeah, the grind was a little off, but, you know, this is made by Best Tech. It's great, but, like, it's definitely not perfect, you know. I wish, you know, it was T8 screws. There's some gapping, you know, on the bar here, which kind of has to be there because it moves. But, you know, that doesn't feel great. There's a lot of, you know, like the screw that's normally not there. You know, it was added for me, but it's fantastic. You know what I mean? Again, top tier, but like custom. So, all right, leftability, and that's where I think this is gonna take us to a tough place. So, on the FSD, the leftability factor on this is the button is over here. So lefty reverse flick is so good because the button is over here, right? Even like the right-handed reverse flick on this knife is a little awkward for me because my finger wants to be right on the lock, and that kind of like disengages the lock bar a little bit, I feel like. You see? It's the problem I have personally with button locks a lot, that you can reverse flick. You see how I'm kind of disengaging it so it's flopping out instead of giving you that crisp break, right? Like if I back off it. But maybe righties just have an adjustment they make. They go above the lock or whatever, and then it's perfect. I've never actually had somebody complain about that. But it's so good left-handed. It's basically set up to be left-handed. There's no lock bar. There's nothing else other than the clip that indicates it's a right-handed knife. So it's literally an amazing left-handed knife. The Factor has the reversible clip, which is where it wins the lefty part of it, right? Or leans that side. And on this, the lock is on this side. So again, right-handed, you can just flick. You don't have to worry about the lock, right? Unless you're doing a flip. Apparently, Casey from Knives Fast was saying that he wants to put his thumb right here when he flips it, and then it doesn't like lock up. But I always just put I don't know. I've never actually gone anywhere near it. But anyway, left-handed reverse flick. My natural position, picking the knife up, go to flick it, is right on the lock. So it basically is set up to where, like, that happened to me if you watch my unboxing. Now, I've learned to just ride my finger up a little bit, and I never have an issue now. And it's just fun to repeatedly flip, right? So I have to weigh the carry versus the absolutely fantastic lock thing or whatever, being left-handed Fidget Factor. And I think I value the button being on this side more than I value having the clip be reversible, because I will carry a knife in my back left pocket no problem. I'll carry a right-handed knife easily, right? And if the lock on this was over here, oh my God, I would be in heaven because of, you know, not having to worry about where my finger is. And that's what I get here. So, left ability is going to the FSD. All right, that was fun. Let's see what we got, guys. That was pretty even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the FSD. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Factor. Your winner, chicken dinner, is the FSD from Brown Knives. Wow. Now, if you removed left ability, it would have been a tie, right? So, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have been 5, and yeah, it would have been 5. So there you go. I mean, it's that close that it's essentially a tie, but the FSD does win. And you know what? It's a custom knife. I think it deserves that win. And like I said earlier in the intro portion, I do think that this currently is my knife of the year over the Factor, even though this is like the coolest knife ever. And I honestly will probably carry this more. But there's just something about the nature of this knife. Something about, I think it has a lot to do with the lefty stuff, but also just the sheer badassery of it. I just love it. I love them both equally. So it's funny, but I do think this is a little more higher end. I think all of that stuff plays a factor too. The fit and finish, the just beauty of this knife plays a factor, right? Get it? So yeah, that's where we're at. The FSD wins. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you have one of these? Do you have both? Do you want one of these? Do you want both? If you do, which one do you think is better? You know, let me know your thoughts on all that. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps out for sure. And hit me up if you guys have any questions. I love you. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.